$100 billion. 4 artificial islands built in the ocean. 700,000 people were supposed to live here, but only 9,000 showed up. Forest City in Malaysia costs more than 4 times what NASA spends in a year. It's basically empty right now. But the truth behind this will shock you, because this wasn't just bad planning. Political battles destroyed it, currency controls killed it, and the pandemic buried it. The developer is now drowning in $200 billion of debt. Let me show you exactly how this happened. In 2015, Malaysia and China announced something incredible. They were building a brand new city, not on land, on 4 artificial islands in the ocean, right between Malaysia and Singapore. Country Garden, one of China's biggest property developers, led the project. They partnered with Malaysia's royal family in Johor. The pitch was simple. Rich Chinese people could buy cheap beachfront apartments, way cheaper than Shanghai or Beijing. The city would be eco-friendly, smart homes everywhere, solar panels on every roof, everything green and futuristic. They called it Forest City. Here's what made it attractive. Singapore is one of the most expensive cities on earth. Forest City was only 40 kilometers away. You could work in Singapore, live in Forest City, pay 1/5 the price. Apartments started at $170,000. Developers promised 6 to 8% rental returns every year. It sounded perfect, except for one problem nobody talked about. This project wasn't built for Malaysians. Now here's where things get really interesting. The budget was $100 billion. That's 4 times NASA's annual budget of $25 billion. Since NASA was founded in 1958, the total amount spent adds up to about $700 billion. Forest City alone was supposed to cost 1/7 of NASA's entire history for a single city in the ocean. Construction started fast. They reclaimed land from the sea, built 4 islands, merged them into one. Then they put up 24 skyscrapers, shopping malls, roads, gardens hanging in the sky, pools on rooftops. The buildings could house 100,000 people in the first phase, 700,000 total when finished. It looked incredible in the pictures. Glass towers reflecting the ocean, green plants covering every surface, a golf course, a water park, hotels and restaurants everywhere. But here's what nobody knew. Most of that greenery was fake. Plastic plants glued to the buildings. Why? Because Malaysia's tropical climate kills real plants on building walls. Mold and rot take over. The maintenance costs were too high, so they faked it. The whole eco-city pitch was partly a lie from day one. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. The marketing campaign targeted rich Chinese citizens only. The developer told them straight up, "This city is for you. Park your money here, buy a second home abroad, escape China's property restrictions." At first, it worked. Sales in China were strong. Chinese buyers loved the idea. But then Beijing noticed, and they didn't like what they saw. In 2011, China implemented new rules. Buyers needed bigger down payments, restrictions on who could own property, a sales tax on real estate. The government was trying to cool down their property bubble. Forest City was caught in the middle. Then in 2017, it got worse. China limited foreign spending to $50,000 per person per year. Chinese buyers couldn't afford Forest City anymore. Even if they wanted to buy, the money couldn't leave China. Malaysia's government turned against the project too. In 2018, a new prime minister took office. He publicly criticized Forest City, called it a problem, said it wasn't for Malaysians. Then the government added new visa restrictions, capital controls. Foreigners couldn't move into apartments they'd already bought, couldn't buy more properties. The market collapsed overnight. The apartments cost $200,000 each, way too expensive for local Malaysians. The average Malaysian couldn't afford them. Foreign investors couldn't buy them anymore. Sales dropped 90%. The developer laid off 2/3 of their staff. They sold less than 10 properties in 18 months. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. Country Garden, the developer, is now facing debts of almost $200 billion. Not million, billion. That's twice the entire GDP of some countries. In August 2023, they started defaulting on debt payments. In October, they defaulted on $11 billion of offshore bonds. The company is essentially bankrupt, and Forest City is trapped in the wreckage. Here's the scale of this disaster. Only 15% of Forest City has been built. Of that 15%, only 1% is occupied. Think about that. They built enough space for 100,000 people. 9,000 showed up. That's 9% occupancy. The rest is empty. Ghost buildings, silent streets, shops that never open, a shopping mall with almost no stores. The only busy places are the duty-free liquor stores. Malaysians come to buy cheap alcohol and leave. One resident described it as a nightmare. He rented a sea view apartment, realized within months the city was dead. He escaped after 6 months, didn't care about his deposit, just wanted out. Another resident said the place feels like a ghost town. Walk around after midnight. You won't see anyone. The infrastructure is maintained. Groundskeepers still trim the plants. Security guards patrol. But there's nobody to protect, nobody to serve. It's a city built for the future that never arrived. The cost? $100 billion wasted. So what does all this mean for us today? This is the biggest real estate failure in modern history. It shows what happens when mega projects ignore basic economics. Forest City made 3 fatal mistakes. First, they targeted only foreign buyers, no local market. When foreign buyers disappeared, nobody replaced them. Second, they built first and planned later. No jobs in the city, no reason for people to live there, just apartments and shopping. Third, they assumed political support would last forever. It didn't. The lessons here apply everywhere. Dubai learned this with the world islands. Those artificial islands are sinking into the ocean. China learned this with Ordos, a ghost city built for 1 million people. Almost nobody lives there. Every failed mega project follows the same pattern. Big vision, weak fundamentals, political backing that vanishes, then collapse. For investors, this is a warning. Fancy presentations don't mean success. Green buildings don't guarantee buyers. Location matters, but so does affordability. So does job creation. So does government stability. Forest City had none of these. Now it's a monument to failure. $100 billion of concrete and glass sitting empty. The developer is bankrupt. Investors lost everything. Malaysia got a ghost town nobody wants. The project isn't officially dead. There are plans to turn it into a special financial zone, tax-free status, incentives for businesses. But after 8 years of failure, who's going to believe them? Who's going to invest more money into this disaster? The damage is done. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Forest City destroyed an entire ecosystem. The 4 islands were built on wetlands, legally protected wetlands. Construction started without required environmental assessments. Local fishermen complained their catches disappeared. The government ignored them. The area was designated as environmentally sensitive. The Ramsar Convention protected it. Development was illegal. They built anyway. The Tanjung Kupang seagrass meadow was the largest in Malaysia. Now it's mostly gone. The Pulai River mangrove forest was internationally important, heavily damaged. Singapore wasn't even informed about the project. That violated international treaties between the 2 countries. Malaysia broke their own laws and international agreements to build this city. 3 more islands were supposed to be built. They never happened. The damage is permanent. The city is still empty, and the ecosystem will take decades to recover, if it ever does. This wasn't just financial failure, it was environmental destruction for nothing. $100 billion, a destroyed ecosystem, and 9,000 residents in a city built for 700,000. If this opened your eyes, let's recap what really happened here. Forest City cost $100 billion, 4 times NASA's yearly budget. It targeted only Chinese buyers who got blocked by their own government. Malaysian politics turned against it. The developer went bankrupt with $200 billion in debt. Only 9,000 people lived there, and an entire protected ecosystem was destroyed for nothing. The biggest takeaway? Megaprojects need solid fundamentals, local buyers, job creation, government stability. Without these, even $100 billion isn't enough. This should terrify anyone investing in massive developments. History repeats itself. We're seeing this pattern in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, in China, everywhere. Drop a comment below. What other failed mega projects should I cover next? NEOM, the World Islands, China's ghost cities? Hit subscribe if you want more deep dives into projects that went wrong. And check out my next video on why Dubai's craziest projects keep failing. You won't believe what I found.